Hello people, welcome back. Oh, I should do that for an intro, that'd be clever of me, wouldn't it? Hi, hello, I hope you enjoyed the time lapse of me constructing this. I've done some minor additions between episodes, such as throwing a bounteous quantity of girders at it, and also adding the little canopy over... there we go. Little canopy over there, but let me tell you, it is so good to have a workshop. Now, some of you... hang on, I'm going to get rid of that now. Some of you may have noticed in that episode where we built the workshop, I didn't actually have any sort of crushing set up, so I have just connected a millstone in here with a few chutes and barrels so that I can make myself some bread. But in today's episode, we're going to be finishing off our... well, we've got 2 more episodes left of this workshop, which I know is an awful lot, but you know, we've spent a lot of time in this workshop, but I want to make it good. So today's episode is going to be focused in here, and what we are going to be doing in here is we are going to be making a, well, a few things actually. We're going to have a mechanical crafter set up on this wall. We're going to have some crushing wheels, probably over here. We're going to have sturdy sheet making over here. Automated train tracks and, well, semi-automated train tracks and semi-automated precision mechanisms also. Now, I haven't actually got any of the stuff for this yet, and I have decided I'm going to be doing more sharp cuts, where I go and retrieve things. Now, I do remember somewhere I did craft some mechanical crafters. Where have they ended up? How bizarre. Maybe I didn't craft them then. Okay, well, we're going to need some mechanical crafters. Mechanical crafters. Oh, great. Okay, well, I am going to go away now and come back when I have crafted sufficient mechanical crafters, because that's going to be the first thing that we're going to do today, and somehow I've got butter on my desk. Like, it's melted and then solidified. Do you know what? I don't want to know. So I'll be back in a little bit. Thank you very much. Well, not thank you. Well, please do stay. Thank you for staying. If you do stay, please stay. Don't leave me to this. Bye. Back. I realised whilst crafting these mechanical crafters, I don't actually have, didn't actually have a crafting table in here. So I've just popped one between these 2 sets of machines here. It is good to just be able to, you know, there you go, press a stack of things and then wander off and do other things. I'm enjoying this, but anyway, if I can find them, we have the insufficient mechanical crafters. Now 21 may seem a bit of a bizarre number, seeing as most crafting happens in a 3x3 grid, but thanks to the wondrous create mod, if I can find some barrels, that number is in fact increased to 21, which isn't a square number, as the more mathematically minded of you will be able to tell, but is in fact, that's not how this works, 3x3 with extensions. I know. So the first thing we're going to do is construct, I think that's the right height, 1, 2, 3, no, that needs to be 1 taller. Okay, in that case, let me just pillar up here. There we go. And then we can... no, that's facing the wrong way, my good sir. There we go, there we go. 1, 2, and 3. You can actually see the top ones, which, comes to think of it, will be a problem, so I'm just going to knock out these blocks. We don't technically need them, they were just there for make you look nice. Let's... there we go, and I can do that. There we go. So, and then, I don't know why I always crouch to do that. It's better if you don't crouch, but for some reason I always crouch. Anyway, that is a full-size mechanical crafter. Now you can see that all of these mechanical crafters have little arrows on them, so that one's facing that way and it carries over into the next block. You want all of your arrows to point into eventually or lead to one block. In this particular instance I have that one as my final block, and then that one, if you have that facing into a inventory of some description, I've used a barrel, then it will sort of all feed into that barrel. So now we're going to talk about how to use the mechanical crafter, and let's go crushing wheels. Can I remember the recipe? You know what? Let's see if I can remember the recipe. This should be fun. I think we're going to need some of that. I think it's wood in the middle, andesite all around the outside. Do you know what I've forgotten to do? Power the damn thing. And then andesite or any variety of stone there, I think. But I do need to power the thing, which I believe somewhere just down here, yes, there, is an encased chain drive that we can use to bring up the power. So let's just do that real quick. That's the one. I'm trying to train myself to not look up a recipe in JEI every time, which is why all of this I'm doing without JEI. I don't know why I'm doing that, to be perfectly honest. It does seem a tad pointless now I think about it, but I am doing it, and I've told myself that I have to, and therefore I'm going to. So yeah, we're going to dig a trench along there, put in a bunch of shafts. Actually I'll have that one back. Where I must have some planks in here somewhere. There we go. Planks, shaft. Now from looking at a mechanical crafter you can probably tell how we're going to power it, because it's got cogs all over it. So I don't feel I need to explain that to you, because all we're going to use is some cogs. And thankfully, mainly thanks to my new workshop, I have all of the stuff I need. So I can just knock out some blocks here. That goes there, there, and there you go. No, I got the recipe wrong. So if you get a recipe wrong in a mechanical crafter, it will just spit out all the stuff like that. Let me find my casings. I'm just going to encase this before I forget to. There we go. Right. What is the recipe then? Oh no. Still on that mode. Sorry, I was doing some stuff in the testing world and for some reason the settings carry over. I got the andesite and the wood the wrong way round. Rookie error, eh? So, some variety of stone in the middle, wood around the outside, and then andesite around the outside of that. Or andesite alloy, I should say. One thing I should note, you don't lose anything if you do get a recipe wrong. It all just spits out at the end. So you're not gonna suddenly destroy all of your items, don't worry about that. Now, if you wanted to use this as an actual crafting grid, there are these things called crafting slot covers, which you can use to, lo and behold, cover a slot. But the easier method is just stick a button on it. So I'm just going to make a crimson button because I have some crimson wood. And yeah, you just stick a button on it, and then if you press that button it will craft most of that's not going to craft anything, but yeah. Yes, we now have some crushing wheels. Now crushing wheels are essentially the more advanced brother of the grindstone. Grindstone? Millstone? Mechanical miller? I know it's not grindstone. I think it might be a millstone. The thing that we've got down there, I wonder if I can see it, can I see it? Yeah, that thing there. They're the more advanced. I'm going to say cousin rather than brother. I'm not sure they're that closely related. Yeah. So they do pretty much exactly the same thing, but rather than a millstone can only do it one thing at a time, grindstones, no, crushing wheels, can do it no, not two things at a time, that wouldn't be much of an upgrade. It can do it a stack that's not what I wanted to do, a stack at a time. They also have access to slightly more recipes than your bog standard Millie Boy, such as crushing gravel into sand, which a millstone cannot do, I believe. Let's just check that. Sand is there. Yeah. So you can mill sandstone into sand, but not gravel. Gravel has to be done in crushing wheels. Yeah, but other than that, you set it up pretty much the same way as what do we call it? A millstone. We are going to need a few more cogwheels in order to craft a gearbox or two. So I can craft 3 there. I'm going to need at least 2 gearboxes. So let's do that. Gives us 7. There you go, that gives us 8. And we're going to need to standard gearboxes, not vertical ones. So they go there. Now, the easiest way, if I can find my shafts, to power crushing wheels is like that, because they need to be spinning in opposite directions, and you need to imagine that that spins that way, that spins that way, and then the things come down and crush through. Now you can have them going the other way, but obviously then you then have to push items upwards, which we haven't talked about yet, but you can do it with a fan and a chute. But yeah, we need these going that way. But if you just have 2 Felamladios like that, that's the easiest way of doing that. Trying to think how I want to do this bit. What I might do is be clever, which I know is unlike me, but I'm going to give it a crack, okay? So I'm going to put that there and take power out of that, because then all we need is another gearbox. We may in fact need 2 gearboxes, depending on which way that's spinning. I've lost my andesite alloy, there it is. Do that. That. I'm just going to make the 1 for the minute, but like I say, we may well need another gearbox, and then give me the rest of my shafts. So yeah, those are spinning the wrong way. You can just about make it out. It's easier to see if it's going slower, but those are spinning the wrong way. So if I was to put something in there, it would crush, but then it just gets spat out at the top as an item entity and sit in the little gap between the crushing wheels and the chute. So we need another gearbox there. But that's okay, that's easily achieved. If I can just find where I've put my planks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just chuck those there for the minute. Andesite casing. There we go. And then if we look at these, you can just about make it out that they are indeed spinning that way. Yeah, and then that gives us crushing wheels, which I shall demonstrate with just a spot of cobblestone. You can just chuck some items in there. Now these chutes can only transport 16 items at a time, but technically a crushing wheel can crush a stack at a time. But there you go, you have a stack of gravel, and then you can take that gravel and crush it again into sand, which you could not do. You also get some byproducts, but you could not do that in grindstone. Not grindstone, and millstone. I always get those two mixed up. And then what we're going to do, there is a reason for me making some sand, is I'm going to wash it. Now if you wash sand, that gives you clay, which I'm going to use to make bricks and use for a bit of building, not for any other reason. Yes, so that is a start. What else was I going to do in here? Ah yes, we were going to do over here somewhere, because if we look just just down here. I thought this would look cool, having a sort of cogwheel-esque thing poking at the top, but I think I need to dye it grey or something. If we look just down here somewhere, yeah, we have our lava tank. So if I make that lava tank a little bit taller, then we can have it popping up out of the roof just over here somewhere. And then we can just lead a pipe straight across. Or in fact, to be fair, we could just have a pipe coming out of it there and going up. No, let's make the tank taller, because I would quite like to have a bit more of a lava buffer, because that's going to be our primary lava production for the foreseeable future. Not quite sure why I've got so many tanks. I'm assuming that's left over from when we made the train. Right, let's find out where we need to dig a hole. Let's try there. Oh, look at me go! First try! I should have an award for that, I reckon. So yeah, all we're going to do is knock down a little bit of my wall. I'm not sure how I feel about using walls here. I wanted to add a little bit of depth, and I realised I hadn't left enough space to add the depth that I wanted to add. Go with that. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's stick back some campfires and stuff like that, turn it into a chimney or something. I don't know. Yeah, I realised I hadn't left enough space to add depth, because I wanted to have these pillars sticking out a bit, so I've used walls. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I may change it out for just standard blocks, but then it'll just be a slightly glorified box. It'll be two boxes glued together if you count the top bit. And if you're wondering about this ladder is not permanent by any stretch of the imagination. We're eventually going to have a lift, or for you Americans, an elevator in here. So that is next episode's problem. And then this workshop will, in theory, be done. And we can move on to bigger and better things, hopefully, like some actual automation. Anyway, let's get some pipes. I'm not going to... I probably ought to make a pump, hadn't I? Let's do that, and that, and that. We don't need to worry about this pump not running. We don't need to connect it up to the windmill. I mean, we can just stick it on big power, wherever our big power is coming through. We'll probably stick another shaft in over there, maybe, I don't know. So let's have the pump coming out there. I appear to be raising up. Well, they're giving me pipes. There we go. I've done that a few times when I was building, and I was really confused. Like, why am I going up? Is something broken? Have I just started flying? And Mumbo? I was laughing so hard at that Hermitcraft episode where they were having all sorts of server lag. That was comedy at its finest, if you ask me. I've smelted up a bunch of my bounteous amounts of copper, so I can in fact get away with just doing that. And look, so fast. So ridiculously fast. I love it. I'm so happy. Let's just chuck that in there, don't need it. That's the wrong way round. You need twice as many sheets as you need ingots, not the other way round. I promise I've been playing this for, well, too long. I think I've talked about this before, but I've been playing it pretty much since Fango did his original Create series with some of the hermits. Started playing then, never really stopped. There we go. And then we can have this pipe coming in here. Probably wants to come in a bit higher, actually, doesn't it? Let's do that then. And then we can dig a hole in that wall and put that there. So if we have a belt there, yeah, that is right. Okay, and then I've got to remember the recipe for sturdy sheets. So spout lava, press, press. That's fairly easy to set up, wouldn't you agree, my fellow humanity? Yep. Let's just fix this hole in the wall. Excuse me, also get some copper casing and just encase that. Make you look nice a little bit there. There we go, copper casing, which is just a copper ingot on some stripped wood, and then you can encase pipes like that. Now without creating case, you can only encase copper pipes in copper casing. But I think we probably will install creating case when we get round to create add-on mods. So we're going to need spout, press, so that will need to go there. We will need a belt running underneath. I definitely have some belts. There we go, some belts. But I'm going to need some more shafts. And while I'm up and about, I may end up going to stick a bit more andesite alloy onto alloy, because already I'm running out. You see the rate at which you go through this stuff? This is why it's so useful to have a super fast mixer, because you do burn through andesite alloy when you're just in a flow state and just going, you know. There you go, and you see that is mixing at max speed, which I concede isn't actually that fast, to be honest. Yeah, we have sufficient funnels. Are these funnels? They are funnels. I get confused between funnels and chutes sometimes. We need one of those there, one of those there. Now, I think I explained this a few episodes ago, but brass funnels can export a stack at a time, whereas andesite funnels can only export one at a time, but andesite funnels can import any amount at a time. This needs to be a block longer, and these need to be in different places there. Which is why we want brass funnels to be our export, but andesite funnels are fine for our import. Pumps, not pumps, pipes. That's not what I meant to do. I can't remember how to make a spout. Spout is a copper casing and some dried kelp, both of which I have, I believe. I do. Look at me go. Right, so spout lava, I will get that powered up, but I'll do that in a minute once we've done other things. Spout lava, I have a press, but I'll need to knock up another one, which shouldn't be that difficult. Block of iron. I can't remember how to make a press. Is it a shaft, block of iron, and... oh, look at me! I'm doing really well today. We want that facing that way, and that facing that way. There we go, so we power that, we'll be getting... hello. We'll be getting lava coming through at a reasonable rate. And then we power those, and then what we have to do is... I'm going to extend these, just because I prefer it. And then all we have to do is stick, I believe, obsidian powder, which you get from crushing obsidian. Specifically in crushing wheels, again, doesn't happen in millstones. Hey, I got it right that time. Yes, I'm going to leave that as is, and I'll power it in a minute. Let's see how much of... let's do train tracks first. So, nugget, press. Okay. We're going to need some more brass. Great. I've got nothing against making brass, it's just ever so slightly irritating. So let's stick a... ooh, I need to take my andesite alloy out first, actually. That's not what I meant to do. There we go. Let's put that in there. I need a stack of copper too. Brass is another one of those things that you will just plough through, so... again, having a max speed mix, not to be complained about. I've got no idea if that'll be enough, or it's probably too much to be fair, but, you know, it'll do for the minute. What was I doing? Ah yes, I was making some déployé. Go in there. Actually, I'm going to cut now, and I'll come back to you once I have made sufficient déployé and other things too. Yeah. So, yeah, I will see you all in a minute. Bye. I might do a time lapse actually. Yeah, let's do a time lapse of this one. I'll do like a time lapse, so I will see you all in a little bit. Hi, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that zippy little time lapse. While I was there, I also made everything that I would need for the precision mechanism setup. Just because, you know, I might as well. No point breaking this video up any more than I absolutely have to. I'm thinking at the moment I'm going to do this. I'd quite like to do it down the middle of the room there, to make a sort of S, well, C shape here. And I'm going to do them either side of this encased chain drive, because then I can use this encased chain drive, or rather, hang on, I'm sure I had some more encased chain drives somewhere. Where's my encased chain drives got to? Oh, they're right there, that would do it. Or rather, that encased chain drive, to power them. So they're going that way, so our output is going to be over here. Ooh. Sorry, I've just had an idea. Which I don't think I'm going to do, actually, come to think of it. Yeah, no. Have I turned my mic on? I have, okay. I've done that a few times, so I have to check. Right, let's do the what's it called? Train tracks first. So we're going to want deployer, deployer, press, like a so. And then we that was entirely the wrong button. We also want some more chutes, so I'm going to need to press a tad bit more iron. One advantage to having a hole in your floor is it's really way down. I might make some more from that actually. Chutes I can remember the recipe for. There we go, and I know I've got one somewhere, there it is. There we go. And the reason we want some chutes there and there, I should be able to break out these blocks, I can, fantastic, is so that we can stick a double chest up there. If I can find... Because for train tracks you need either iron or zinc nuggets on both of them, not just the one. Ooh. Can I make... let's I'm going to say stairs. Can. There we go, that one and that one. So now we can get in there and we haven't got a hole in our ceiling. Win-win! There we go, grab that. And mine out both of those. Wonderful. So yeah, we will put like iron nuggets in there, and probably zinc nuggets because zinc has less uses, and then it will get bonked, which is a technical term for those of you wondering. So yeah, let's just stick in an output chest. Chest or barrel, do we reckon? Let's go barrel. Why not? Ooh, if I do that, I can do that. That's clever of me, isn't it? I'm going to need 2 for the minute. Oh, I'm very much enjoying just being able to do these things. And a sight funnel. We're going to need 4 of them, because we only need andesite for this one. Technically we only need andesite for that one as well, to be fair. Yeah. But I decided to use zinc. Not zinc, that's not a variety of funnel, is it? What's that stuff called? Brass, there we go. Now, obviously I haven't powered this, but that is very nearly, if I remember the important bits. Let's make some more barrel. Barrel rider. Yeah. Little Hobbit reference for you all. I think we need to extend that belt, don't we? Do I not have a belt? Apparently not. Where's my dry kelp? I do need to make a kelp farm fairly swiftish, because we are starting to run out of the supplies that I acquired, shall we say. There we go. That's better. Yeah. Anyway. Barrel will go there. Funnel will go there. Bob's your relative. Now this one is a little bit different because, there you go, sorry I just wanted to set that up, because precision mechanisms, if I look them up, precision mechanisms require that to be done 5 times in a loop. Which means, actually, I am going to steal this unnecessary brass funnel, because we're going to need it, and replace it with that there and a side one. And then that can go on there. Because what we need to do is filter this for gold sheets and incomplete precision mechanisms. So if I just get... no, that's not what I wanted. I need, in that case, a filter, specifically a list filter. Which is crafted with 2 iron nuggets and some wool. Now there are 3 varieties of filter: list, attribute and package. List filters do what they say on the tin, they allow you to list a set of items that are allowed through. Attribute filters again do what they say on the tin, and package filters allow you to allow and deny certain package addresses, which is useful depending on what's... Why are you cold? Hang on. Oopsies, what did I just do? Right, let's fix that. Why aren't you pumping? Just a pump. There we go, okay. Just a bit of a glitch there, that's okay. Those things do happen sometimes with the Create mod. It's quite a complex set, as I'm sure you can imagine. Oh yes, I needed wool, didn't I? I'm sure I had some. I don't know, I've definitely got shears, so let's go and strip a sheep. There's one. Once again, sheep galore. Oh, it's starting to fill in that hole. Sheep galore around here. We will eventually, of course, make a sheep farm. But that is a problem for future me, although that will be done in this area. I have got a bit of a plan, because obviously we're going to be separating out into different areas, because the Create mod is quite laggy when you start making bigger farms. So having everything in one place is not a good idea, by any stretch of anyone's imagination. Do I have sufficient iron nuggets in my backpack? No, I do not. In that case, I shall make some. There we go. So yeah, splitting up all of your farms into different areas is generally a good idea. Like, my PC is decent as PCs go. So I'm just trying to work out in my head how I'm going to power this. I think I've figured it out. What was I saying? Oh yeah, my PC is decent as PCs go, but you still need to divvy up your farms a little bit. Let's get some more andesite funnels. It's not funnels and chutes I get confused between, it's funnels and tunnels. Sorry, I thought I should clarify that, it just popped into my head. So that is going to be spinning in the same direction as that. So we need a thing that I've forgotten the name of, gearbox in there, which means I need to do that. That's not what I meant to do. That's definitely not what I meant to do. Hey, I know what I'm doing. And that. Now, did I? No. Can't remember whether there's a add-on mod for Create/Ultimine that allows you to do things like alloy application with Ultimine, and I couldn't remember whether I didn't had that installed or not. What do I need? I need a gearbox, which means if I make some shafts, put half of them in there, do that and that. We can have a gearbox that goes in there, use the remainders of our shafts to do that, and then connect those together. And then that wants to be on output. That's not what I meant to do. And that wants to be on input. And then we're going to want to stick a block on the end, so I'm just going to use this weathered iron that I happen to have about my person. I am also going to put a block there, because I have had problems before with things breaking because I haven't put blocks in places like that. So I'm going to put blocks in all of those places. And it occurs to me, I've put that filter in there, but I haven't actually put anything in it. So with a filter, all you've got to do is right click to open it, and you can set it to a deny list or an allow list. And from JEI you can drag, like so, and it doesn't actually give you the item, it just allows you to use it for the filter, which is quite useful. But we are actually going to need a gold sheet because you can't get incomplete precision mechanisms from JEI. Also, I would quite like to make some... Have I just broken things? I believe I have. Yes I have. How have I... Is that better? Is that working now? Certainly seems to be. Don't wander around brandishing a wrench, kids. Let's... In theory, actually, if I chuck that in there... Yeah, you can see that happens in a circle. Let's get some more chutes in. Oh look, this has actually got space. Love it when that happens. Let's just hop up in the middle here, like so. Shoot, shoot, and shoot. And then let's make some barrels also. We're going to need more barrels than that. Slabs and... oops, there we go. Barrels, twice as many as we need, but there you go. Barrels along there now. If I just go uses of gold sheets. Small, large nuggets. I can never remember the order for those things, so I'll check. Yes, let's do that. Let's also do underneath what? 2 stacks? Yeah. 2 stacks. So, I don't think I've used this recipe before, so you can craft small cogwheels like so, but then you can also craft large cogwheels by putting another plank on a small cogwheel like so. Normally I just do the recipe where you can why isn't that doing anything? Oh, because I haven't powered the deployers. Honestly, it baffles me how I have managed to build some of the things I have with Create Mod. Anyway, let's stick some... I think it has to be iron nuggets, doesn't it? It can't be zinc. Yeah. Disappointing. I can't be a cheapskate. Yeah, okay, and then let's get this powered up, which shouldn't be too much of a problem, hopefully, fingers crossed. Where's the zinc there? probably going to need a bit more than that, aren't I? So if I do that, and with encased chain drives you can turn an angle like that. Yeah, this is going to be the right way of doing this. I really need to, well, have some sort of setup for automatic casing making. I could probably find space for that upstairs. Ooh, grass. I need to run and grab some andesite. Christ's sake. Oh, this is a good point actually. This workshop is going to have a further 2 episodes on top of this one, not just a further 1. It's just occurred to me something else that we need to include. That being storage. Not quite sure how I forgot to do storage, given that it's kind of important a little bit. That's a lot of creepers. I'm going to go in the building, where creepers can't open doors. That's the wrong way. Stack of andesite. Most of a stack of zinc. And a single iron nuggets. Okay. What was I doing again? Oh yes, I was making some encased chain drives, wasn't I? Can I have all that then just for a second? Chuck all that in there. Don't worry, we're nearly done. I am now debating whether I want a system to automatically turn logs into casings. Can I have one of these gold sheets, please? There we go. Filter that to gold sheets for the minute. We will be changing that filter shortly. Forgotten what I was doing. Oh yeah. Today is not going well, is it? In terms of remembering to exist properly. Anyway, we can then stretch some of those over there, which get everything powered. And now we have some incomplete precision mechanisms. There we go. So now, if I go on my list filter, I can add incomplete. Yep. But we want this to be on ignore data, which means that we only need one variety with progress at 3, whereas if we had it on respect data, we'd need one at progress 3, one at 6, one at 9, one at 12, and not one at 15. So if I now put that in there, they should keep cycling round, and in theory, we should end up with some precision mechanisms. We've run out of things, because evidently things have failed. Christ's sake. I put half a stack in there. Anyway, but yeah, we've got 2 precision mechanisms, which is somewhat disappointing, but there you go. And then this I shall demonstrate also. Let's do that and that. Let's put 2 stacks in, because we are going to need a lot of tanks in some of the upcoming episodes. So both of those have filled up with things that I've forgotten the name of. We need to smelt some stone, because you do need just stone for this. I have something here. I do. Look at me go. Then let's just stick the stone cutter at the head of our bed. You then need slabs of the stone variety. Chuck them in there, and would you look at that, we're getting a train track. So that should give us what, half a stack? Yeah. The way that green lined up, I thought that was a creeper stood in my doorway. That was terrifying. But anyway, yeah, this is... Oh, I need to power that, but I'll do that in a minute. This is it for today's episode, really. Construction of a few semi-automatic machines. I may yet implement along here an automatic logs to casing setup, depending on how tired I get of making casings all the time. But yeah, I'll get this powered up. This is less useful, to be fair. You don't really need sturdy sheets for that many things. But when you do need them, it's good to have a setup for it and not have to do it manually. So, you know, we take it. But yeah, in today's episode we have made crushing wheels and a crushing wheel setup. We've made a mechanical crafter, a not yet powered setup for sturdy sheets, semi-automatic precision mechanisms and train tracks. A stack thereof has been made. We've extended a tank for reasons previously stated, and I've talked a little bit about this building that I've built. So thank you all for watching. I am going to go over to the looking tree. I hope you enjoyed my mindless ramblings. Do you like my stairs, by the way? I built some stairs to get up onto the looking tree. My mindless ramblings about the Create mod. Yeah, do feel free to like and subscribe and do all the things that the algorithm likes. I love you all very much, and I shall see you in the next episode, I hope. Thank you very much, and goodbye. Which button is it? That one. Bye!